There's this claim that if you want to improve your sex life in a union, then as a man, you should take up more housework. Basically, the claim is, a new study suggests men who do their share of the household chores engage in better and more frequent sex with their spouse. In any relationship, the amount of housework is going to mean something different based on the couple's context, based on their own expectations for what each partner should be doing, and their comparison levels of what happens with other couples they know. However, compared with men who reported making an unfair contribution to household chores, those who perceived a fair contribution to household chores engaged in more frequent sex with their partner, and both partners reported their sex being more satisfying. Rather than avoiding chores in the hopes of having more sex, as prior research would imply, men are likely to experience more frequent and satisfying passion for both partners between the sheets when they simply do their fair share. This author offers some pretty decent pointers, claiming, when addressing the topic of house chores, for men reading, think about house chores as linked to sex. This other article suggests that men who do more chores have a better sex life. Particularly, a new study conducted suggested that males have a greater sexual appeal to the fairer sex if they take more responsibility when it comes to housework. Researchers in Australia surveyed almost 300 women in heterosexual relationships and who did the most household jobs and found that the more equally the chores were shared, the stronger the women's feelings of sexual desire. The study authors at Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne say sexual sparks fly when male partners take on their fair share of physical and mental tasks. The researchers wrote for The Conversation, "Our research acknowledged the nuances of women's desire and its strong connection to relationship quality by exploring how fairness in relationships might affect desire. Findings suggest one response to low desire in women could be to address the amount of work women have to take on in relationships. Again, exclusive focus on the woman. This other article reports, when men perform half the childcare and housework, it grants women greater choices and flexibility, staying at home. On the other hand, exhausts women, petrifies them with a sense of insecurity and leaves the sole breadwinner with consistent trepidation and less options for career advancement. Efficiency can, however, be achieved both at work and at home, whether you're called mom or dad. For this to manifest, women need to work more so men can work less, but in the compensation, men ought to reciprocate their women's efforts at home. In 2006, a survey of 360 married men concluded that men who performed more family chores fared much better sexually. According to the survey, the more satisfied a wife is with the division of household duties, the more she recurrently obtains comfort in marital copulation. Married men reported that when wives are happier with their husband's household work, the frequency of sex is escalated. As per the argument that men completing a greater share of housework often leads to more intimacy in the union, the obvious prediction should then be an increase in the share of housework completed by the man should have a direct relationship with the sexual frequency in a union. The problem is, that's not the case. Research shows that both husbands and wives in couples with more traditional housework arrangements report higher sexual frequency, suggesting the importance of gender display rather than marital exchange for sex between heterosexual married partners. Sexuality is governed by enactments of femininity and masculinity through appropriately gendered performances of household labor that coincide with sexual scripts organizing heterosexual desire. Couples where men participate more in core tasks, work typically done by women, report lower sexual frequency. Similarly, couples where men participate more in non-core, traditionally masculine tasks report higher sexual frequency, suggesting the importance of gender-typed participation in household labor.